السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I was having a conversation with multiple people this week about the absurdity of me having to do this program this evening. It is absurd. Why is it absurd? Think about something. Because it's Halloween, people want this program done, okay? First problem, the people who are going to engage in it are doing it right now. This is when they're doing it. So having a program to try to stop them from doing it at the very same time that they're actually already engaged in doing it is not going to be highly successful. The second thing is this, and this is more important than the first. Why should this even need to be done? Now think about this, because you have to look at it from my perspective also. I am a convert to Islam. Now, granted, it has been over 30 years, but still, I came from something else into this deen, right? My parents had taught me something different. The culture was something different. The family tradition was something different. And all of that had to be abandoned. And it's been a process. I would dare say that I'm still engaged in that process of disconnecting from all of those previous, aspects of that mindset, that lifestyle, etc. Okay? Now, imagine how perplexing it is to me as a convert, because I get questions all the time from converts and reverts, whatever the heck it is that you want to call them, semantics. How do we deal with this? We have to go deal with our family members, and Halloween, everybody gets. So when we tell them we're not doing Halloween, they're like, okay, we understand. Thanksgiving, we could just do the food thing, and we're Muslims, we do the whole hamd and shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can work that one out. Christmas, well, that's a problem. How do we deal with our family members during Christmas? Right? So these are the normal questions that I'm getting. So it's not that they want to participate. The question is how do we disengage from these traditions while at the same time engaging in silatul rahim and maintaining, keeping the family ties? That is the challenge for a convert, a revert. They don't want to participate, but they got to figure out how to be diplomatic about it, be pragmatic about it when they're dealing with their family members. Because at the end of the day, their hope is that their family members become Muslim. So most of these converts, reverts, anytime they're even going to family engagements during what's called the holiday season, they're really doing so because we need to keep these family ties. I want my family members to become Muslim. Now, in contrast with that, we have the Muslim community, born on, quote unquote, again, let's use the common social terminology, born Muslim, some immigrating from Muslim countries, and come over here and want to leave Islam to go practice non-Muslim traditions. It makes no sense whatsoever. None. It's like we are passing each other. So the people who are already here, they're leaving all of this behind to move towards Islam. And then we have Muslims who are leaving Islam to move towards the thing that we left, the tradition and the culture of this country. Because we recognize that Islam has its own culture. Islam has its own traditions. So once we have accepted the lifestyle, and it is an absolute complete lifestyle of Islam, then it demands that we leave off all other aspects of any other form of lifestyle which is incompatible with Islam. Incompatible, incongruent with Islam. So why is it that we are dealing with a situation during this season when we are watching Muslims become more like non-Muslims than Muslim? They're out there right now with their kids, trick-or-treating. Now, if that wasn't perplexing enough, let me drop this on you. As I was growing up, it was commonplace that for religious families, talking about Christians, religious families, people associated with the church, that they would go out of their way not to participate in Halloween. Churches and different groups and whatnot, they would have like alternatives, you know, bring your kids to the, like whatever, we'll give them some candy, they can run around and play on some rides or whatever, but like any alternative just to keep those families and those kids from participating in Halloween. This is Christians. This is a pagan holiday. This has nothing to do with Ibrahim alayhi salam. So as Christians, why should we participate? Everything that it's associated with it is evil. You're feeding the nuffs of kids. It's nuffs. What does a kid like? Sweets. So you feed the nuffs of kids. It doesn't matter how many times somebody like myself sits and every year actually goes over the whole history of Halloween. Where does it come from? What are its origins? But it doesn't have an effect. We still end up having to do the same thing the very next year. Then you've got all the horror movies. Then you have the masks and dressing up like shayateen. For us, the idea of pretending to be something that you're not is something that is abhorrent to us. It's what you and I call hypocrisy. So we don't believe in being dhul wajhain, having two faces, wearing a mask. So the brother made the title, The Truth Behind the Mask. Well, I think we have a bigger question to ask here. This isn't about Halloween. This is about Iman. This is about Yaqeen. This is about Taqwa. This is about Ilm, Ta'aleem wa Ta'allum. Because the issue is that the Iman is weak. Ghafla reigns supreme in the Muslim community. And the lack of knowledge, very good at careers. But understanding deen outside of a cultural lens or outside of a traditional lens, but rather through an Islamic lens, is deficient at best. And thus we see the Muslim community engaging in these practices which have nothing to do with our Islam. So if I ask you, what is the purpose in life of the human being? It's a very deep question. It is a question that philosophers throughout the ages have sat in quiet places and pondered over and tried to understand, why am I here? Now, it is not a question that you can actually come up to the answer. You cannot come up with the answer yourself. Because it's a matter of intention. The same way, I can look at your actions and guess at your intentions, but I'm only actually going to know your intentions if you tell me. It requires you to tell me, because intentions are an internal thing. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought us into being. Now we can look at the actions of Allah and we can look at the creation of Allah to see indications, ayat, signs of the intent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not leave us to waste our lives trying to figure it out for ourselves. He puts it to us very bluntly, very clearly. وَمَا خَلَقَتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created jinkind nor mankind except for my ibadah. Meaning every moment of our lives, every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of our existence, especially in this dunya, is supposed to be about ibadah. Dhikrullah. Isn't that what ibadah is? What good is the ibadah without dhikrullah? If I don't remember Allah when I'm making salat, is that salat accepted? So now, while we love the cookie cutter phrases that exist in the Muslim community and in American Muslim pop culture, why are you doing this? I'm doing it for the pleasure of Allah. I'm doing it for the pleasure of Allah. I'm doing this for the pleasure of Allah. I'm starting this for the pleasure of Allah. I'm giving that for the pleasure of Allah. And it's like, it's so generic. It's so shallow. It's so superficial. Because everything that we're doing in this life is actually supposed to be for the pleasure of Allah. What is it that's in our lives that is not supposed to be for the pleasure of Allah? Just name one thing. What one thing has Allah given us, and Allah Ta'ala say, well, like in this particular thing, that's not for my pleasure. You can do that for some other reason. So now, as opposed to arguing with the juhala who want to celebrate, and take on all of these customs and traditions from non-Muslims, specifically this evening, Halloween. And they say, well, what's wrong with it? I say, subhanallah. You make it seem like we have to basically prove to you that it's wrong to stop you. It's backwards. You are a Muslim. You should be you're the one who is out there on the fringes and crossing and transgressing barriers and borderlines. So now, as a Muslim community that you are a part of, and we are all representatives of each other. We are all representatives collectively of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So actually, we should be asking you, what justification do you have to engage in these practices? Forget us telling you that you can't or proving to you that you can't. You say that you are a Muslim. We are collectively responsible for one another. We are one ummah. You want to do something new, different, unprecedented, and now you want us to explain to you why you shouldn't. Try to convince you why you shouldn't. No. You need to explain to us why you should. What makes you think that it's permissible in the first place? What in your God-given mind has possessed you to think that engaging in this particular practice is something that pleases Allah, that is close to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or has anything to do with our Islam and our najat, our success? Bring your evidence, bring your proof, bring your justifications, but it better be from this deen. Don't bring me, well, there's no harm, like the kids are just going to get candy. It's not a big deal. All the neighbors are doing it, etc. You know how it goes. It's nothing new. It's the same, again, it's the same ridiculousity every time. It's the same absurdity every time. Same shallow excuses every time. Let's just be honest. You're doing it because you are losing your Islam. You are doing it because you do not have the knowledge of your own culture in Islam, your own tradition in Islam, and you are infatuated with Western lifestyle and what anybody in the West is doing. You are infatuated with them. You are enamored by them. You see them doing something and you automatically assume that since they are doing it, it must be good. It must be right. Ajib thing is that during the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this is how non-Muslims would look at the Sahaba. They look at their lifestyle Look at their character. Look at their conduct and their actions. Look at their loyalty to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they would see that and they would be influenced by that into leaving the culture of kufr, into abandoning the traditions of jahiliyyah. And now it is the opposite that is happening. Because I'm telling you right now, if you actually have a value for the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you have a love and a value for the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the lives of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, Allah is your Rabb. If you are literally, if you can sit there and you can say that Ya Rabbi raditu bika rabban wa bil islami deenan wa bi Muhammadin nabiyyan wa rasulan, if you can say that, oh Allah, that I am happy that you are my Rabb, that Islam is my lifestyle, and that Muhammad is my messenger, he's my prophet, I'm happy with this, then you won't go looking for happiness anywhere else. You won't feel like there's any deficiency or nor even any room in your Islam for this type of nonsense. But when there's a vacuum, you know, they say nature abhors a vacuum. So anytime there is a vacuum, what happens? Something goes to fill it up. Something will come in and fill it up. If the heart is not filled with the love of Allah and His Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, then some other type of love is going to come and fill up that heart. When we are not completely enamored with the lifestyle of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, then guess what? In regards to our lifestyle, then there's a vacuum. And now who's going to influence us the most in that vacuum? It is the people that we are living with. We work with them, we live next door to them, we drive down the street by them, we shop next to them. They run the country. They run the police department, the fire service, the hospitals. They run the whole thing. So what do you think is going to fill up that vacuum? And what's the average? Do you know what the average is? How many generations does it take before a family loses their Islam? Do you know how many? What the average is? That's right, 3. That's it. Not 5, not 6, not 7, 3. Meaning the grandkids are in trouble. The grandkids are in trouble. And so now when it's not, the holiday season, when it's not Halloween, and now the most common question that I get asked, it doesn't matter what city I go to, what masjid, what the ethnic demographics of that masjid are, it's always the same thing. Sheikh, can we have some time? We want to sit and we want to talk to you about the problem we're having with the youth. How do we face the challenges that we are dealing with the youth? How do we understand the youth and what the youth are going through? How can we get the youth to come back to the masjid? How can we get the youth to be more interested in their Islam? And the answers are not complicated. It doesn't require an AI algorithm for this. It's not complicated. You see, the real issue is not the youth. The issue is that we are seeing the direct results of our apathy, of our indiscretions, of our carelessness, and our distractions. Where? In our own children and in our own grandchildren. And now that causes what concern? To do what? And this is how you know when it's bogus. Because everybody wants to change the kids, not themselves. How can we change them? Not, it would be wonderful. It has happened before, but it would be wonderful if it would happen again. If the adult members of the community, the fathers and the mothers and the aunties and the uncles and the elders and the community leaders, if they actually came up and they said, we are failing our youth. What do we need to do to improve the situation of our youth? What do we need to do? Not what do we need to make the kids do? Because somehow that always ends, I don't know how, but no matter what the equation is, it always works out on the other side of the equal sign. It always comes out to short talk, basketball, pizza. Across the country. I am not joking. Short talk, basketball, pizza. Over and over and over again. Big community, small community, Arab community, Desi community, Uzbeki community. Doesn't matter. Same thing. Just the same thing. Over and over and over and over again. Small talk, basketball, pizza. And then we say that like, well, they were at the masjid. So how can we save the youth? Well, we can start by actually, mashallah, learning and practicing Islam. In our homes, in our businesses, in the streets, in the masjid. In the masjid. We can actually form a community where we actually feel a sense of shared responsibility to our youth as a whole, as opposed to the inevitable question of, I am worried about my kids. I'm worried about my kids. Well, that's your problem. You're just worried about yours. I'm worried about them all. You just care about yours. That's the problem. Because he's doing the same thing, and he's doing the same thing, and she's doing the same thing, and they're doing the same thing. So everybody's on their own. Everybody's on their own. To try to do what? Figure it out themselves. Now, I will tell you one thing that is not in the potential solution column, and that is this: trick-or-treating. What message are children receiving, Muslim children receiving, when their own parents are the ones that are promoting this? When their own parents are the ones that are taking them out? When their own parents are actually even, now we got them that they are, what do you call it? With the houses and everything, putting all the decorations up and whatnot. Yeah, the whole season. We got Muslims that put up Christmas trees and Christmas lights and everything now. You know that? Oh, I've seen this with my own eyes. This is not a joke. I have been to a Muslim's house, okay, with the lights on the front and everything. And by the way, Allahu Akbar, I am there to teach. I'm going to the house to teach this family, okay? Wealthy family. I mean, very wealthy family, mashallah. I'm going to the house to teach this family. Born Muslims. And the house is decorated, and you know when you're pulling up and you're like, well, that can't be the house. But it is. So you're like, do I go up to the front door? Like, did I have the wrong? And you're sitting there like having this whole internal conversation, like, this can't be the Muslim house, right? That's the address. Okay, well, they're about to, either it's the right house or they're about to get a shock in the middle of the night, right? So you go, oh yeah, that's Muslim. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. And now, mind you, your brain can't process this. So you think like, is this somebody else's home and they're living here? Or, right? Because your mind doesn't want to accept the fact that Muslims are doing this. So the front door opens. I kid you not. If you guys look back there, you see where the clock is at? Not the exit sign. You see where the top of the clock is at, and then the camera is there? Okay? Their tree, their Christmas tree in their house, I kid you not, went at least to the top of that clock, if not like further up to like the camera. That's how big the tree was in their house. As soon as you came in the front door, decorated and everything. Huge. I mean, I used to be Christian. I actually asked you to celebrate Christmas. We ain't never have a tree like that before. You want a tree like that, you better go outside. Right? Never had a tree that big. Huge tree. Decorations on the inside, on the mantelpiece, and everything. I'm like, what is going on? What in the Twilight Zone is happening here? And it wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the last time. So this whole topic of Halloween, you can throw Thanksgiving and Christmas in there. New Year's, absolutely. I get so annoyed with most. Please, like, just so that you know, do me a favor. If you see me on the 1st of January or the 31st of December, please don't say Happy New Year to me. Will you please just don't do that? Just do me that small favor, please. Okay? Because these are the same people that are doing this. I asked them, like, what month is it in the Hijri calendar? In the what? The Muslim calendar. Oh, yes, that one. Almost Ramadan. What do you mean almost? Well, there's 2 months, isn't there? There's Ramadan and there's almost Ramadan. Right? Subhanallah. So it says, what is the first month in the Muslim calendar? MashaAllah. Muharram. Right? When does it come? Do you know when the new year in the Muslim calendar happens? Most people do not. But they'll walk, Happy New Year! Hey, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Have a great year. I'm kind of in the middle of it, but since you say so, inshallah. Okay? Now, just to like wrap things up a little bit, because I want you to understand like how like insipid this stuff is, okay? Like how like it's tentacles, and it's like a monster with all these tentacles, and it's constantly reaching to get like purchase in your heart, okay? So I want you to think about this. Names of the week, the days of the week, what are they named after? You got Freeze Day, which was today, Saturn's Day, which is tomorrow, the Sun's Day, then Moon's Day, and et cetera, so on and so forth, okay? What they named the planets after? The names of the months, what are those named after? With the exception of Sept, Oct, Nov, and Des. Sept, 7, Oct, 8, Nov, 9, decimal, as you know, is 10. So it's like, well, how come the 10th month is actually the 12th month then? Because initially they only had 10 months in the calendar. These geniuses that everybody seems to be so enamored with and so impressed with, these geniuses added on 2 months, but didn't do it after 10. They put it on the beginning. So January and February were added on to the beginning. So now 7, 8, and 9 and 10 became what? 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then go look and see what the rest of those months are named after. It is all shirk. Look at what they're pumping into the minds of these, into the hearts of these kids with all the comic book stuff. It's all shirk. And we are complacently allowing our children to be exposed to this. And God forbid, sometimes we're the ones promoting it. And then when the child is now no longer a child, 16, 17 years old, and now there's issues. 25, 26 years old, now there's bigger issues. 36, 37, 38 years old, monstrous issues. And now the parents are coming, Sheikh, help. Help do what? I've been helping. Not just me. People better than me have been helping, been explaining, been teaching, been offering programs, classes, tafsir, advice, how to raise the kids, what to do, what not to do, teaching seerah, teaching history. Like, the help has always been there. You just never really had a value for it. And now you are in a situation which is directly impacting you in your life, in your mentality, in your emotions. Now it is directly impacting you. And now this is when you're saying, I need help. Help me. Save my kid. It doesn't work that way. There is no special pill that you can take, right? And says, mashallah. Well, since you've just realized the value of Islam in the life of your child, you can take this pill now and give one to your child also. And inshallah, after reading Al-Fatiha 7 times, inshallah, you'll wake up for Fajr and everything will be all brand new. So please, I am begging you for your sake, do not take what is happening lightly. What we are seeing is the erosion of Islam in the lives of the community members. We are seeing the impact in the lives of their children, the distance from Islam in the lives of their children and their grandchildren. That's a whole nother story. And the types of things that they are engaging in, the types of actions, behaviors, situations that they are finding themselves in, most of the adult immigrant community, they are completely oblivious of. They are unaware of it. They do not, because they don't understand the culture. When you don't understand the society and you don't understand the culture, and for you, it's just like, I go there, I do my work, I go here, I do my shopping. Otherwise, I have my own insular community. When I'm socializing, I do it within my community. Whenever like we're doing something on the week, I do it within my community. So the only time I'm actually having to deal with non-Muslims is work and shopping. But the kids are out there in the culture, in the society, doing way more than that. Oh, they're full, that's full immersion. It is full immersion. And anytime there's a vacuum, nature abhors a vacuum. So we can either help our children understand, find out and understand who they really are in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or we can leave that vacuum in their lives or fill it up with some nonsense, right, which they may or may not accept. But regardless, they will be influenced by this culture because they are immersed in it. It's like trying to, like, here's the catch. You can put your kids in this water with a scuba suit on, or you can put them in there with nothing on. If you put them in there with nothing on, they will get wet. The only protection from the damage, the impact, and the effect of this society is Islam. It is dhikrullah. Because trust me, there are people way more pious than you and I, that they also go through struggles. And they're doing, like, they're walking the walk. And they're still going through these immense challenges. So none of us are immune. So if those people that are putting in that level of effort, quality effort, if they're having difficulties, what do you think that you and I, if we're kind of lax and take a lackadaisical approach to this thing, to these issues of raising our children, the youth, the next generation, if we're just kind of like letting it happen the way it happens in America? What do you think is going to happen? Because we're not those guys, the pious people. We're me and you. We're just regular Muslims. And social media is there. The internet is there. YouTube is there. Their peers are there. All the social propaganda and social engineering efforts and all that is there. And they're telling your kids what to think about you. They're telling your kids what to think about Islam. They're telling your kids about what to understand is halal and haram. What is okay, permissible, and what is impermissible. And then parents, they come to their parents and they're, you know, I feel like it's okay if, you know, such and such does such and such, and, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's necessary. I think I. Where did you get these notions from? Where did you get these understandings from? Trust me, they weren't just sitting there and they came up with themselves. These are things that they are being bombarded with over and over and over and over again. From the teachers, from social media, from their peers, from the entertainment industry, even now society in general, and politicians. How are you and I going to offset that if we're out there trick-or-treating right next to them? The people who are sick and you and I have the cure, what if we leave off the cure to go adopt the sickness? That is the challenge that we are facing. This isn't about Halloween. Halloween is a symptom. This is about the root cause, the root sickness that is infested the Muslim community, the hearts and the minds. So my humble request is this. Sit down with your kids. It doesn't have to it doesn't necessarily have to be your blood children. If you have nieces and nephews, or, you know, you're teaching Sunday school classes or whatever, right? But actually, like, sit down with the kids and actually have a conversation with them. Find out what they're already thinking, as opposed to like just telling them what to think. Actually have a conversation with them. What are you thinking now? How do you feel about this? What have you learned about that? And then actually engage them based on where they're at, not where you wish they would be. So now you'll find that these kids will blow your minds. They will blow your minds. And I'm talking about 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds. They will blow your minds. As far as the type of things, that the thoughts that they're having, the challenges that they're facing, right? The stuff that's been put in their heads, like, actually sit down, talk with them like adults. Talk with them like adults. Let them surprise you. And then help them to understand. Don't tell them what to think. Don't tell them what to believe. Help them to get there. Help them to get there. Now, anytime, and I'll close with this, anytime you and I, we're dealing with planning a trip, right? You got to know 2 points. You got to know your destination, and you got to know where you're at right now. Correct? In order to draw a straight line or to navigate from point A to point B, I have to know those 2 points, point A, point B. Well, a lot of us, at least we've got a general understanding of how we would like our kids to be. That's the destination, right? How many parents are taking the time to understand point A, where their kids are already at? That's the reason why we have so many navigational issues and child rearing issues and so on and so forth, because the parents never took the time to understand where the child was at. They just assumed. That's like me assuming I'm in Florida and I'm headed to California when I'm actually in New York. It's a different route that has to be taken. Well, I assumed the sun was up. Well, the sun rises in New York also. Yeah, but it was really bright and hot today. I thought I was in Florida. Well, that's not going to help. You can't guess when you're choosing a course of action. So do not guess When you're dealing with your own children, they are human beings. They have thoughts, they have opinions, they have their own mindsets, they have their own personalities. They're going to process things in different ways. And that's even amongst your own children. Say you got, like, I got 5, right? Each one of them is different. Each one of them is different. All 5. Every last one of them is different than the other 4. So you got to talk to all of them differently. Then get them and help them reach the point where they have decided this stuff is no good. It's their decision. That's when it becomes their deen. Only thing that you and I do is help them along the process. We provide them education. We provide them information. We help them with navigation as they're trying to understand certain issues, okay? So when they start to veer this way, help guide them back this way. They start to go, help get them back on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, right? Show them where there's flaws in their thinking. Show them how to think as a Muslim. And this will change everything. But we're dying, y'all. Not to be morbid, but the reality is think about it like now. If a parent is, like God forbid, out there with their children trick-or-treating, or is that how you'd want to die? For your kids to die? Like show up on Yawm al-Qiyamah? So what were you doing when you died? Well, trick-or-treating. Is that what you want to be doing? Is that you want to be at when Malakul Maut comes to take the ruh? And this is a scary thing because this is for everything. May Allah have mercy on us all. Like the idea of ever being like our souls being taken away while we are in a bad situation, right? When we're in a bad condition, we're in a bad place. Like that is nightmarish. That's horrifying. Forget Halloween. Like that's horrifying. So I'll end with this. Not mine. Somebody else said this. 2 brothers having a conversation. They were talking about kids or whatever. And the brother is giving some targhib to the other brother. And he says to him, he says, the problem with us is that we're always worried about what's going to happen to our children after we die. This is what we're always worried about. What's going to happen to my kids after I die? He says what we should be doing as Muslim parents is that we should be thinking what's going to happen to our kids when they die. So this is how a Muslim parent thinks. That what is going to happen to my kids when they die? One is based on the dunya, right? What's going to happen to my kids when I die? What's that? It ain't got nothing. It ain't about the akhirah. It's about the dunya. Who's going to take care of them? Who's going to feed them? Who's going to clothe them? Who's going to help them with their problems, right? It's all dunyawi related. But he gave beautiful advice. We should be worried about our kids and what's going to happen to them when they die. Now I'm worried about my kids in the akhirah. I'm worried about the family reunion. I don't want the family reunion to happen in Jannah and, God forbid, I don't show up. Or children, wife, mother, father, they don't show up. They're not there for the family reunion, the eternal family reunion. So it's a symptom. Please do not get confused by don't be confused nor enamored with the lifestyle of non-Muslims. They are sick. They are in need of hidayah. They are in need of guidance. They are in need of a change in lifestyle. They're in need of the truth and an escape from batil. That's what they're in need of. Their hearts are locked currently by kufr and shirk. You and I, as Muslims, as the ummatis of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we carry the key. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. We carry the key. The key that what? that potentially Allah could use to unlock these hearts and minds of these non-Muslims. And they should realize that this life is not what they think it is. And the akhirah, wal-akhiratu khayrun wa abqa. And the akhirah, it is better and it is everlasting. But you and I hold the key. Now, if we are abandoning the key to lock our own hearts to participate with them and to be seen as like being like them and being accepted by them, oh, look, they're just as American as we are. Being an American, part of being an American, really, okay, it's not the social thing. It's about the laws and the rules and the what do you call it? The Constitution, the Bill of Rights. And what's the big part of that? Freedom of religion. The Amish do it. What do you got? The Mormons out there in Utah, they do it. You got all these different groups that do it. The Jews are not shy about doing it. Take advantage of the freedom to choose your own lifestyle in this country. It is a freedom that is afforded to us here that in a lot of Muslim countries, we do not have that same degree of freedom. Now we have it here. The only question is are we going to take advantage of it? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to do so. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on us and our families, our children. May Allah ta'ala protect our iman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite our families, all of us together in Jannah bighayri hisab. Allahumma ighfir lana wa lil mu'mineen wal mu'minat wal muslimin wal muslimat al-ahya'i minhum wal amwat. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Questions, worries, problems, concerns? Yes. Okay, so you're asking, is it okay to dress up? Just don't do it on Halloween. Okay? It's okay to be a kid. All right? There's nothing wrong with being a kid. So have fun and playing and like it, no problem. On this particular day, yeah, it is an issue because we just need to make sure that we're not being confused as participating in what they're doing. But otherwise, kids can be kids. No problem, inshallah. We don't want to go from its extremes. We go too hard or too soft. Islam is always in the middle, mashallah. Any other questions? MashaAllah. May Allah MashaAllah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi rahmatika nastaghith. Assalamu